What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's your boy Noname back at it again with another Giants video. This is coaching update number 2. Now I did say in my last video, which was update number 1, I thought we would have hired a coach by now just because of the amount of people that had already had in mind to interview. They didn't get through the full list yet, so that's definitely why they haven't made a hire, but also because I felt like they were doing a better, more thorough job of going through their candidates this year. Now then, big news that got released today. First things first, the Cowboys hired one of our potential candidates, former Packers head coach Mike McCarthy, who worked with Aaron Rodgers for years there. He got a Super Bowl there, always stayed above 500 there, overall record. And Mike McCarthy was, for a lot of people, either their number 1 next head coach or their number 2. He was near the top of the list because of how good he is offensively. And yes, I did not like him personally. I didn't like Ron Rivera personally either, but just because I don't like them doesn't necessarily mean that the Giants don't like them. These are well-established head coaches that have years of success in the league. Both of them have been to a Super Bowl. In Mike McCarthy's case, he's won a Super Bowl, and he took a year off after being fired from the Packers to sort of hone in on his craft and kind of catch up with the time, so to speak, on offensive schemes and whatnot, because that was one of his major criticisms when he left the Packers. He took a year off, and according to himself, obviously we're not getting the reports from anybody else, he says that he used that time to improve his repertoire and all that. So the Cowboys took him, the Redskins took Ron Rivera. Those are 2 of the Giants head coaching candidates out, and unfortunately the 2 teams that took them are in our division. They're 2 of our biggest rivals. The only thing that could be sort of worse for the situation would be if the Eagles for some reason fired Doug Peterson and then they hired somebody else. Who knows? But as of right now, 2 guys are off the board, and I'm not worried. I'm just kind of wondering why the Giants haven't hired anybody yet. Like I said, it definitely has to deal with they haven't gone through all their interviews. And yes, it would be kind of stupid to hire somebody without getting through all your interviews, but I would have thought they would have gone to their person by now. For example, Don Martindale. Let me just go through who they've already met with this past weekend. Mike McCarthy was one of them, Don Martindale, Eric Bieniemy, and Chris Richard from the Cowboys. Now, Don Martindale is somebody that I began to like a lot more in this past week since I did the last video. Matt Rule is still my number 1, but after seeing the way he coached that bowl game, and I think any sensible fan would be a bit worried because he did not call a great game and his team didn't perform well. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a bad coach. Everybody has their bad days, but when you know that you're going to be up for a big NFL interview and you're in a bowl game that is nationally televised, that you're playing for your season essentially, you would think this person would have one of their best games ever. Now, my confidence is a little shaken in him, but Don Martindale, the more and more I read up on him and the more I see from him, I'm liking him more as a candidate. I retain what I said in my last video. I just don't see him coming to the Giants. There's no reason for him to come to the Giants. He's on the Ravens. He's on a team that's probably going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're my pick. They're a lot of people's pick. They're definitely going to go to the AFC Championship at the very least. The Ravens are currently the best team in the playoffs. He's in a perfect situation, so to speak. The only reason I would see him leaving will be to have more power and to become a head coach. Like, that's it. But to kick off week 2 of the coaching search, they still got to interview New England's wide receivers coach and also special teams coordinator Joe Judge, who I'm still not sure exactly why they're interviewing a special teams wide receiver guy. Maybe they see something that we don't, but they also got to interview Matt Rule, who's still my number 1 pick. He's going to be on Tuesday, and by all accounts that's coming out, he only wants to coach for the Giants if he leaves Baylor. And he said for months now, before we fired Pat Shurmur, that he had no intentions of leaving Baylor. And now this is a very similar comment out here. The only place he would leave Baylor for is the Giants. So to be honest, it's in the Giants ballpark. They have to present themselves in a way that Matt Rule can't turn them down. Or maybe they'll see something that they don't like and they're like, we have to turn Matt Rule down. It's a very it's a situation that you would want to be in, though, when the coach wants to come there and really the only thing that would scorn you is if he's just a bad coach. Somebody else they got to meet with this week is probably Josh McDaniels. I mean, it's not confirmed yet or anything, but there's been rumors about it since I want to say week 12 of the regular season maybe. There's been rumors that Josh McDaniels was going to interview with us. He interviewed with us the last time when we fired Ben McAdoo. Before we hired Pat Shurmur, he was one of the persons that interviewed with us. But he didn't exactly leave with a good taste in his mouth. I believe he left and he said it was either him or Matt Patricia. Both of them were coordinators for the Patriots at the time. One of them left and they said that the Giants were the most unorganized team in the NFL, which obviously is not a good thing to be. And I hope the sentiment is not the same when McDaniels comes in this time. And another thing, this is just rumors at this point, but not that many interviews left. Maybe Bill Belichick. I mean, he could come back to the Giants. Obviously, everybody knows Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. With the Patriots, him and Brady, they're probably the greatest quarterback head coach tandem in NFL history. And after the Patriots just got eliminated from the playoffs in the wild card round, it's not a stretch that he's going to leave. He might retire. If he does stay, I don't think Brady's staying on. If one of them stays, the other is going. I think the relationship is soured there and the Patriots are going to try to do something different. But there's been a lot of Belichick rumblings for years now saying that he might come back to the Giants. He might come home, might reunite. You know what I mean? And he would be a great coach, obviously. I mean, like I said, one of the greatest, if not the greatest coaches in NFL history. I just hope that if he comes over here, he doesn't bring over his bad habits of cheating and filming other teams. I hate that a lot. But that's the coaches going into this week. I really want the Giants to make some type of move here, man, because, well, to be fair, you know, to be blunt, the market is thinning, and that's because other teams need coaches also. Like I said, I don't like McCarthy and I don't like Rivera. Maybe they were the guys we needed. Who knows? You know, you can't. It's not like I got premonitions of this thing or anything, but you have to make your move while the crop is still there before it all gets taken up and you're stuck with somebody you don't necessarily want, which I'm starting to suspect is what happened with Pat Shurmur the last time around. And speaking of Shurmur, there's rumblings going on around there that he might become the new offensive coordinator of the Redskins. Once again, I would have mentioned this if it's not Giants news or Giants related, but it is, because one, Shurmur is our former head coach, but two, Redskins are our rivals and they just took up Ron Rivera. Whether you like them or not, a coaching tandem of Rivera at head coach, Jack Del Rio at defensive coordinator, and Pat Shurmur at offensive coordinator, should they be able to work together, is something very scary for opposing teams and something that could get that Washington Redskins team out of dumps. They could be potential playoff bout next year with that coaching tandem. They could help Dwayne Haskins develop greatly, especially Shurmur. We saw what he did for Daniel Jones this year. I don't like the guy, but I gave him credit, and I will continue to give him credit for helping Daniel Jones develop a lot this year, for helping guys like Darius Slayton develop a lot this year. You know, Shurmur could do a lot over there with Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin. Maybe even Darius Geiser. They take another running back. Who knows? That would be a very scary thing to see on the Redskins side of things right there. And on the Cowboys side, they may or may not stick with Kellen Moore, their current offensive coordinator. I personally think they should switch because they were better offense when they focused on Zeke more rather than focusing on passing more. But maybe that's why they brought in McCarthy. Like I said, he helped Aaron Rodgers in the beginning of Rodgers' career before he was the bad man that everybody knows him as. He definitely had help from McCarthy, you know, before all whatever went down, that soured their relationship, and that made McCarthy a little bit more lazy towards his tenure in Green Bay. I would love to see Josh McDaniels come in, going back to the Patriots offensive coordinator. If there's one offensive head coach that I would love to have, and I don't consider Matt Rule an offensive head coach because he doesn't exactly call plays on any sides. He's the type of head coach that lets the coordinators do their coordinator and he takes care of everything else. But if there is one type of offensive head coach I would love to have, it would be Josh McDaniels. Dude is simply amazing, one of the brightest minds in the game. And I mean, you don't stay on the Patriots for that long, and Bill Belichick doesn't keep you around for that long without you being somebody special. You know what I mean? He went to the Colts and then he left the Colts to go back to the Patriots, which was obviously a smart decision because that year they won the Super Bowl. That was just last year. So Josh McDaniels is somebody I would love to see come in. But right now, and I would love to know you guys' opinion, it's either Don Martindale for me or Matt Rule, and I'm starting to lean just a little bit on the Don Martindale train, but it all depends on if he leaves the Ravens or not. That's what I got for y'all today on the coaching update. Let me know what you all think. Put your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Until next time, I'm out. Yeah.